is there a queen in this newly made split? Because actually I really feel I made this split way too early. I should have waited. In my area that I live in, central Illinois is where I live. I should have waited till about May the 1st, somewhere between May the 1st and May the 10th, but that hive was ready to swarm, so I had to do something. So just basically looking to see if I see any brood or a queen, and as you can tell, just a lot of nectar right here, and so far no signs of a queen. I'm going to park this frame out here for a minute and take a look at a couple more frames in the top, and then we'll go down to the bottom. If I have a queen at all, the queen is likely going to be down in the bottom of the hive. Okay, let's see if we have a queen on this frame here. And I'm also using the sun behind my back to see if I have any eggs in the cell. And I don't see any eggs down in the cells, but I do see a queen. So all is good in the neighborhood. See the queen? So I'm saying I looked at it really good yesterday and didn't see a queen. So I'm going to say that this queen here is probably newly mated and hasn't really started laying yet. So everything is good with this hive. Once I have spotted the queen, I'm going to put her back in and close it up. I'm watching her all the way down so we don't hurt her. That's good news for me. I'm excited. And you can tell by the clock running on my camera that it didn't really take me that long to open this split up and start looking to see if I have a queen or not. So that's how fast you can do a hive inspection. Okay, so you could see how fast I was able to open up the hive, pull a frame out, and see if I have a queen. And I looked at the hive yesterday and I didn't have a queen, so I knew she was out mating because I really went through it carefully. But today, after going through it again, we saw the queen. Still no eggs. Pretty sure, 99% positive, that was a virgin queen that has just recently mated, no longer a virgin queen, and it's going to take a few days for her to start laying. So all is good. Now let's look at the hive over here. All right. Okay, so we're going to look at the $2,000 queen hive. We're going to look at our queen, see what her brood pattern's like, and see if we need to add a new box on top of this split that we made. Here we go. Now, if you remember in some of the past videos, the recent videos, this first box is a feeder because it turned cold and I had to hurry up and put a feeder on it during those cold nights. And so that's what we have on top. That's, remember they drank they ate all this sugar water that we made. Watch my other video of me putting this on. I'm going to put a little smoke from the top of these holes so that I can calm the hive down a little bit. That's enough. Take the feeding system off. And the bees are still eating the protein, the pollen patty that I had placed on there a few days ago, maybe a week ago. You saw me in a video put that on there. And you can see how much they're still enjoying eating this protein patty that I made. So you can say what you want to about the proper way to make them, but I like the way that I make them because I like the way the bees eat them. Okay, so here we go in the hive. Let's get a little closer with my camera here. And we'll look for the condition of the queen. This hive is ready to be expanded because I always say when you have 5 frames, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames that are drawn out with bees on them, it's always time to add the next box. But I want to go ahead and look at it before I do that and see how things are going with the queen laying eggs and brood. So let's just take a peek. Let's give them a little bit more smoke. Calm them down a little bit. Very good. And I think I'll start from this side over here because I have a frame of undrawn comb that may not be hard to pull out. If you're drawing up your frames like I am here and they're really drawn out, be careful because you can start to injure the comb that's drawn out. You can sometimes kill brood. If you do it too fast, you can actually roll some bees. You can kill your queen, so be careful. So this gives me a little space right here. You see the space I have between my frame that I'm going to pull up now? I don't have to worry about damaging the comb or injuring a queen. The $2,000 queen. Everybody keeps asking me why a queen is worth $2,000, and of course she's not worth $2,000. It was a joke. Here's a frame of a little bit of brood, but mostly pollen, and they've packed away some pollen around some of the brood as well. And the other side shows me that they have what I call polished out or dried out these cells for the queen to lay in. You can see bees walking around with some of them with pollen on their back legs. Now I can put this back in the hive. I have enough room to slide my frames over. These bees are very well behaved, but they are very active, so just a little bit more smoke. Today it's about 70 degrees right now here in Illinois, and there's black locust trees that are in full bloom, and so these bees are really going after it. And I just got a mouthful of smoke. Okay, so here you see a good frame of brood. The middle part has emerged out. I don't see much going on. I'm going to show you this waggle dance right here. I want you to watch. I'll bring it closer to the camera. See the bee making the waggle dance? So there's a bee making a really good waggle dance. She's making a figure 8 if you watch her. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of them actually doing waggle dances. Okay, so the other side, we have similar. We have mostly comb that's ready for eggs to be laid, but no eggs in it. And that's a little disconcerting for me, especially since I see a queen cell located right here. This is actually a queen cup, so I'm going to have to look to see if anything is up in there. Nope, it's dry. There's nothing up in that queen cup. So that means it's just there for an emergency if they need it. And it is hot today, actually. I'm sweating pretty badly in my hat and veil. But this smoke is way too much. It's coming up into my face. I'll put it on the other side of the hive. All right, let's look at the next frame. We're hoping to find that mysterious $2,000 queen and see what her condition is like. Yes, I do have some super frames in a deep box, which makes the bees add comb to the bottom of the frames. Now, when you add comb to the bottom of the frames, it's brand new comb. You have to be careful, it may fall off. If you add some comb to the bottom of a super frame in a deep box, you're going to get 3 inches of extra comb on the bottom. And I'm fine with that. You may not like it. You do what you want to do. But if you look closely, you can see eggs in that freshly drawn comb, which means the queen is doing a good job laying eggs here in that comb. And be careful to flip it over that it doesn't fall off. So when you see eggs on comb, that means the queen could be close by. Again, I'm going to hold it so maybe you can see down in the cells. I may not be able to get that that scene just right, but maybe you can see the eggs at the bottom of those cells. So I'm going to look carefully for a queen on this particular frame, and I don't see her. So let's check the other side again, and I'm going to say no. Okay, let's keep going. So when I'm wanting to pick up a frame, you can see bees are in my way. I don't want to smash them, and I just simply start putting my fingers where they need to be to lift the frame up, and I slowly move them in position so that now I can get a good grip on this frame. It's stuck to the other one, so I'm going to go back and separate them now with my hive tool. The propolis, I'm careful not to kill bees when I'm doing this. So just take your fingers, if you watch, just take your fingers and move the bees gently out of the way. They'll may land on your finger like that, but just knock them off. Again, you're just going to have to take your fingers and move the bees, put your fingers where you want them. You'll feel a vibration, you know you're pushing too hard on one. And this is how I've learned just to work bees barehanded. Now the question is going to be, is the queen on this frame? There's actually a little bit of comb on the frame next to it, so we'll have to take a look at that one too. This is a nice frame of pollen and nectar, but I don't see any brood. Now this has always been a hard side right here for me to look at because of all the pollen and nectar, so maybe I've just missed her on this side here. Let's look. Oh, I found her finally. Oh my gosh, it was hard. Okay, so, shoo, you're probably, wanting to congratulate me on finding the queen. And I deserve it. I didn't give up, but she's right here. And because it was so hard to find her, see how dark she is? I'm going to mark her yellow. So what I'll do to mark her is set the frame down on top of the hive. Pick her up with my fingers and mark her with a marking pen. First thing you want to do when you want to mark your queen is make sure your marking pen, in this case 2017, it's yellow. Test it on a piece of wood. It's perfect. I like to pick up my queen with my right hand like this. Let me see if I can get my camera where I can show you what I'm looking at. Alright, let's do it right here. It's like looking in the mirror. Down, over this way, okay. I'm gonna allow her to stand on my finger and grab her back two legs with one hand, like this. Wait until the back two legs are under my thumb. Now I have her, let me move her out in the sun. The camera's a little shaded there. Alright, there she is. Is that good? I'm going to take the yellow marker and touch her thorax. Alright. So there you can see I've marked her back yellow for this year. Now I'm letting this dry a little bit before I put her back in the hive, and it dries pretty quickly, but I just want to make sure it dries well. There's a little bee taking care of the queen. Now I want to show you this. It's dry enough for me to really put it back now. I'll show you how easy it is to see her once we let this dry. Now a technique, let me get back in the screen, a technique that I like to use is to grab her wings again from the back. See her little wings back there? If I can just grab both wings, a little tricky, and I can let go of the feet. And now, let me get my camera to follow me. I'm coming back. Hang on. So now to drop her back onto the frame, see, I just let me get her back in the scene here. I'll just put her right there, and there she goes. And there she goes towards the bottom, around the corner. There she goes. She's almost walking outside the hive, and that's not good. So we need to work her back into the hive, right? You got to be careful when you're playing with queens. There she goes. All right, now she went back in. So in a case like this, because we had the hive kind of set up, the frame kind of like that, we're going to be careful. We're not putting this hive back together until we know exactly where that queen is. We got to find her again. It's going to be easier, but I don't want to damage her. I don't want her to be on the outside. So now we have a little bit of work cut out on making sure she's down inside. She's probably going to be on the frame next to that wall. So let's get set up. I was working hives yesterday, and I wanted to keep going a little bit longer, but I failed to take some smoker fuel with me, some torn up blue jeans, and I just had to give up. It was getting late in the day, and I just didn't want to continue it. All right. Let's find the yellow marked queen. Let's make sure she's not on the frame that I'm holding. Scanning for a yellow dot. It's going to be fun for you to see how easy it is to find a yellow dot. That queen is a very, I would say, comb color queen. That means that she is so the same color as a piece of comb, it's really hard to find her. I think she's on this comb here, so I'm not going to use any smoke. I'm going to just pick it up and see if I can find her on this frame. I'm coming back to the camera, just getting my fingers in the right place. Hang on. Alright, so here we have a frame with a potential queen. No yellow dot there, right? And no yellow dot there. So now we're going to keep looking at the next frame. Let's check the wall. Oh, she's a wall walker. So she is on the wall in this case. So some of you are learning a lot about marking queens and what queens do. Let me get my camera. I'm taking it off the stand. You could go through that hive again and never find the queen, because if you look, when she crawled in, she crawled on to the wall. Hang on, let me get things set up. I apologize. In that batch of bees there, you can see there's a yellow queen with a yellow dot on her back. She's kind of off to the left side. So what I'm going to attempt to do is simply reach in there and pick her up so she drops down in between two frames. Let me try to hold my camera. Maybe you can watch me do it if I can get my camera just right. Who knows? Alright, where's the queen? Oh, I see her. Ooh, a lot of bees in the way. There's not enough room for me to really work my hand. So I'm going to show you another technique that I use. And this comes from years of raising queens. Take your hive tool like this. You're not going to hurt her. And pull up on the hive tool like this until you see her. She's over there. Keep the hive tool against the wall so you don't hurt any bees. Alright, there she is at the top. See her? Now, trying to get it where I can just reach in there and grab her, but you can see that's not easy to do. I'm waiting for her to position herself just right. coming up now. This is how particular I am about queens and making sure that I can make everything work just right for me. I'm just going to try to, it's hard for me to even see where she's at. Making sure she's not on my hand. Okay, here she is up here. Nope, couldn't get a good grab. There she is on my hand. I'm just going to shake her off. And there she goes down into the hive. So, whew, that was a little bit precarious. Kind of hairy there for a minute. You wouldn't have had to have taken her off the wall, but I decided to just so I'd know that where she is. Okay, so in summary, we were able to find the queen. It took a lot of work because the way the color of the queen is, it's just hard to see her. And once I found her, I was able to conclude that to make it easier for me to see her next time, I'm going to put a yellow mark on her. So you got to see me do that. And once we did that, we kind of lost track of where she was going. She was a little confused about getting back on comb, a wall walker. So at that point, you got to see me make sure that my queen was on comb before I put the hive back together. You never want to lose a queen. You don't want to be responsible for killing that queen by smashing her on some wood against wood. That's why I took the extra time to put her where I wanted her to be, in the center of the hive between two pieces of comb before I put the hive back together. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I just got a call of a swarm in that town over there. So it's not one of my hives, I don't think. So I'm going to run over there, and if it works out, I'll film it for you and we'll put it on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe below. It's always great to have new subscribers. Be sure and visit us at honeybeesonline.com. There's no reason for any of you. Some of you have asked where I live. What state do I live in? You don't need to ask that. If you go to honeybeesonline.com, you go to our website. All the information is there, where we're located, what our phone number is. I am in Central Illinois. So if you want to stop by and see us, go online, look at our hours. You might catch me here at the time that you visit, or I may be over there in that town catching a swarm. But we are located in Central Illinois. We run a beekeeping business. We sell equipment and all that. And if it sounds like I'm promoting my business, of course I am. No, I'm not running a charity ward here, right? I'm trying to make a living off of honeybees, and I do appreciate your business. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.